Well, there's been no coverage in China in Chinese of the death of Liu Xiaobo, with only a few short reports in English. That, of course, is in the mainstream state-controlled media. But what has Kerry Allen, a China analyst with BBC Monitoring, been able to pick up on Chinese social media?
Liu Xiaobo's name has long-term been blocked on Chinese social media platforms like Sina Weibo. So if somebody runs a search and they type Liu Xiaobo, what they get is a message that says, according to relevant rules and regulations, results with that name cannot be displayed. So obviously very close to the announcement, the censors, they put this on Weibo so that anybody who wanted to type and see messages that people had used using Liu Xiaobo wouldn't see anything. And a lot of people they're quite clever and they use quite crafty ways to get around the censors. I saw people using screen grabs of images from Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, of tributes to Liu Xiaobo, because the censors, they can't text scrape for screenshots. I also saw people posting song tributes. So there was one person who posted a song that had lyrics about feeling trapped, kind of alluding to him being in prison. And then there were people as well kind of posting little emojis of candles, which people use normally as tributes to commemorate someone who's died. So they were being very subtle about the way that they were commemorating him without actually explicitly mentioning his name.
And was this happening a lot?
This was happening an awful lot. There were thousands of messages coming in at the time that his death was announced. So people were aware of it. And there are these groups that kind of sit below the surface in China. They have access to VPNs and they can see what's going on in the media outside of China. They have a lot of clout and they're very careful about the way that they word their messages. So one user, for example, Xu Xin, he's got millions of followers and he simply posted some candles. And because he's got so many followers, people instantly knew who he was talking about, why he was posting candles, and they were responding straight away. And his message got taken off social media.
I mean, it's obviously impossible to guess or estimate maybe the age of those who have been posting. But do you have the impression that a younger generation is aware of Liu Xiaobo and what he did, why he was imprisoned?
Yes, I would say so. I mean, nowadays, affluent Chinese have many more opportunities to travel overseas. So a lot of people have exposure to platforms like Facebook and Twitter. And also with Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg has been making a desperate attempt to get Facebook into China. I mean, it did used to be unblocked within the country, so people could use it and they were aware that it was a cool platform that people could share pictures and messages with their friends. When that got blocked, some people, they still use it when they go abroad or they like to use a VPN to access it. I mean, another thing that I saw on social media were people using traditional Chinese characters to bypass text scraping government censors. These are normally used in Hong Kong. So I think a lot of messages that were coming in might have been from areas where the media is not censored in China. So Hong Kong and Taiwan, because these platforms like Weibo and WeChat are still popular there. So people can leave messages and they're not as likely to get picked up by the censors.
And why can't the Chinese authorities text scrape traditional Chinese characters?
What they tend to do is, because the majority of mainland Chinese speak Mandarin and Mandarin uses simplified Chinese, they tend to scrape for that because that's the stuff that's going to get a large amount of reaction. But with traditional characters, which is normally people in southern China and areas like Hong Kong, these people use traditional characters. So if they post something, it's not going to get the same amount of massive reaction as it might if people were using simplified Chinese.
That was Kerry Allen, a China analyst with BBC Monitoring.